Hello, hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. I'm Audrey, a paralegal turned stay-at-home mom who loves true crime. The cases I cover are wild, topics may be triggering, viewer and listener discretion is advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. With all that being said, grab your hot Cheetos, and let's get started on today's case. My husband's dad used to tell him a story when he was a kid about the Niles Canyon ghost, a tale in the days before social media about a girl who died in a car crash on February 26th. The year varies from source to source, but essentially it was in an era preliminary to any Uber or Lyft apps, before the self-driving car, before we had the world at our fingertips. Hitchhikers were a thing. It became a trend to stand on the side of the road, and from the images I've seen of this happening, you would do a thumbs up and hoping a willing and total stranger would stop and give you a ride. This particular woman was hoping to hitchhike a ride to San Francisco. Niles Canyon Road is a 7-mile stretch of land that runs through Interstate 5 and is off the 680 freeway. It is part of the California State Route 84. It runs through Hayward, Union City, Fremont, and Sonoma, California. In 2017, the San Francisco Chronicle reported the Niles Canyon had been named one of the deadliest roads. According to the California Highway Patrol, between 2018 and 2023, Niles Canyon Road had an average of 22 reported crashes a year. This was a special night, and she was coming back from a dance. A stranger stopped for her and picked her up. She gave the person an address across San Francisco. To get there from Sonoma, you either have to go through the Dumbarton or the Bay Bridge. As soon as they reached the start of the bridge, the girl vanished. A February 7, 2007 Tracy Press article reported that a few years prior, a man named Billy Rose and a friend said they had encountered this ghost. They described her as a quiet girl who was standing on the side of Niles Canyon Road asking for a ride to an address in San Francisco. Billy agreed to give the girl a ride, and because he was the one driving, and she insisted on sitting in the back. The drive towards San Francisco, and they decide to take Dumbarton Bridge, that route. They get to the start of the bridge, and as soon as they physically hand over a whole 15 cents to the toll worker, because it was 5 cents per passenger at the time, the worker handed back 5 cents to Billy, which made him turn around to find an empty seat. This bizarre happening drives Billy and his friend in search for answers. They head to the address the girl provided in San Francisco, and the woman who answers the door says to them, "That's my daughter. She was on her way back home from a dance 20 years ago when her car ran off the road on Niles Canyon." Another tale is that a young bride named May Ann was killed in an auto accident in 1938. These are urban legends. Things that have actually happened on Niles Canyon Road, according to my research, are as follows. The oldest newspaper I was able to find about a death in Niles Canyon was of a drowning, which I found a little creepy as I was writing the script, because the latest notable news about Niles Canyon I found was also about a drowning. A July 20th, 1898 Newcastle News article reports, and I quote, "Alfred M. Sarders of San Francisco was drowned in Niles Canyon while bathing," unquote. An Oakland Post in 1930 reported that the road had been worked on and a new wall made of stone was being installed to stop, and I quote, careless drivers from plunging into the turbulent waters beyond, unquote. The creek was used to cool off during the hot summers. An Oakland Post ran a headline of Youth Killed, Girl Hurt in Cycle Crash in 1932. An August 31st, 1933 Township Register article reports a 72-year-old man named Joseph Rose died from injuries sustained from a car crash on Niles Canyon. His car crashed into a large truck that was carrying hogs. Joseph's wife, Mariana, had passed away just weeks prior. He was survived by his sons, Joseph Jr. and William Rose. An October 4th, 1933 Oakland Tribune article reports a 33-year-old man named Arthur Sloper's head was crushed, both legs were broken, and was taken to the hospital. He was found lying on Niles Canyon Road. Arthur was not alone. His truck driving partner, Thomas Keller, was found parked 200 feet away inside of the truck. Thomas was taken in for questioning and could not explain what happened to Arthur. The Oakland Tribune reported that authorities declared Arthur was a victim of a mystery hit-and-run driver. Thomas told authorities that Arthur had stopped driving without an explanation, got out of the truck, and started walking along Niles Canyon Road. This was corroborated by a witness who saw Arthur walking along the road. On August 13, 1947, Darcy Doon was killed by another car, and she was driving in California. She was 20 years old, vacationing from Wichita, Kansas, with his friends who were in the car with him. Witnesses report the car was driving very fast, failed to stop at a stop sign, and a truck ran into it. The truck was being driven by a man named James Hakel. An October 31st, 1947 Township Register article provides that two construction workers, 65-year-old Walter Coffey and 42-year-old Leonard Zumsteg, died at Fairmont Hospital from injuries from an accident on Niles Canyon Road. It was raining and they were coming back from a work site when a 20-ton truck being driven by John Carpenter crashed into them. John told the CHP that the car came through a stop sign and it was not possible for him to maneuver his truck in time to avoid crashing into their car. A January 30th, 1948 Township Register article titled "Will Ghost Girl Appear This Year?" Saying February 26th marks the 10th anniversary. A radio host named Mel Venter with KQW tells a story regarding a February 26, 1947, about a couple driving through Niles Canyon Road on their way to San Francisco. They stopped and picked up a girl who was hitchhiking. The girl got into the back seat of the car and gave them an address on Sutter Street in San Francisco. The driver stopped to pay the toll on Dumbarton Bridge, and the toll worker tells them, "You owe me no extra fare. There is no one in the back seat." They were very confused, and the couple remembered the address that the girl gave them and head their way. They got to a house on Sutter Street in San Francisco, and a middle-aged woman answers the door, and the couple tells the woman what happened, and she tells them that they are the 8th person that to come to her house with the same story. She goes on to explain that her daughter was killed in a car accident on Niles Canyon Road 9 years prior on February 26. According to this article, a checking of the Township Register files of 1938 indicated no incident reported of such car crash.